Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You'll know my co-host Jordan. Hi, Jordan. How you doing?
Howdy, Adam. I got my corn pops and I'm ready to go.
Good. They're not a sponsor, so stop trying to shoehorn them into our episodes.
Every
realized
episode there's some corn pop references. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like a Beatles Paul is Dead kind of thing, where if you play home podcast backwards, you'll hear a lot of corn pop references.
I gotta have my pops.
Also, if you play a home podcast backwards, I think it's actually funnier, probably better content overall. I always do this thing, and I just noticed it, where whenever I say the opening line, like I always have my two, like my thumb and my forefinger, like pressed into my eyes, and just like sort of holding myself in place. Like, God, I can't believe I have to do this again. It's sort of like my palm is in my hand.
It sounds painful.
Palm's on my head. It's just like, oh gosh, just like massaging my temples, thinking, oh, another darn episode of Home and Podcast. But no, Jordan, I'm happy to be here with you.
Sounds like it.
Obviously, in case that's not coming through, let me say it. But unfortunately, Jordan, there's a little bit of a war going on right now.
A war?
Yeah.
Is it?
Go ahead.
I knew what you were going to say, but I guess I'll let you say it.
It's called the streaming wars.
Oh, my goodness. And we're in the very early stages, I would say.
We're
just a few battles in.
Yeah, but it's a lot of bloodshed so far and casualties. There haven't been any casualties. War's not funny to joke about, but
But streaming wars are.
Streaming wars are fair game as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm not trying to be on SNL, so I can make these kind of crass jokes. Yeah, so NBC, there's just a lot of shit going on right now.
Speaking of SNL,
with streaming, yeah, good point. But things are crazy. Basically, everything of value is leaving Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix just spent like $1 billion to get Seinfeld because everything's leaving. Every single platform and various like entertainment company is launching a streaming service. Some are sort of intertwined, and everything's just getting a little bit weird. And I feel like we're going to end up spending as much. If you want to see all these things, you're going to end up spending as much on all the streaming services as you would on basic cable. And cable is just kind of being invented all over again. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's a way to make money, I guess. Get people on your streaming service. I wonder at what point they like Apple TV Plus. You get an Apple TV Plus Disney Plus combo for a discount or something, like that, and then it's basically cable again.
I know, and it's just like, well, yeah.
That was worth it.
Yeah, it's just like stupid. What, 20 years down the drain? I don't know. Yeah, I suspect we'll look back at like Netflix of this year or like the last couple of years and think like, man, we really were lucky that they had so much stuff because everything is just getting so...
It used to be like $13 for everything you wanted. Now it's going to be like $40 again.
Yeah, so. And some of the stuff, like, man, Apple Plus and stuff, like, I just don't.
Let's go down the list of the current competitors in this arena that you can think of.
Do you have it, or do you?
I don't have the big list, but I'm just thinking. So obviously, Netflix is there.
Yep, Netflix.
You got Hulu as well,
right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you've got Disney Plus coming in November. You've got HBO Max coming. You've got Apple TV Plus. You've got Peacock, which we're going to talk a little bit about. What am I missing here? I mean, CBS All Access. Does that count?
I mean, I guess you gotta bring it up. ESPN Plus maybe is also in there as well. That's getting kind of thrown around. Other things, I suspect.
I mean, there's lots of
Fox will have something. I think like every major. Yeah, every major like company or channel will have something. But there's also weird sort of relationships. Like HBO Max is going to have The Office somehow, if I'm not mistaken. Like I don't necessarily understand because some companies have relationships that I don't know about. But yeah, it's getting out of control. We bring all this up to talk about the Peacock because ding, 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 because they're doing a couple of reboots, and again, we've all got reboot-itis, but I still can't think of a reboot that has debuted that was of any real value at all. But what are the 4 reboots that the Peacock is set to launch, Jordan?
Yeah, so they're really hoping with their streaming service to get a reboot of The Office up and running, which I guess would be the most exciting thing of all the reboots that you can think of. A reboot of a reboot, if you can consider the British series. But there also is going to be a reboot of Battlestar Galactica, which seems to fit in with
really
The Office.
Like that. Yeah.
Dwight would be happy.
Right.
And then reboots of Punky Brewster and Saved by the Bell. Which Saved by the Bell, that one hit a bunch of Twitter news this week, so that one's obviously in.
People were psyched about that. Punky Brewster, before my time.
It seems like a strange choice, but
yeah, hey, we'll see how it goes. But the big, I feel like this is all big news, but what NBC really wants you to get excited about is the possibility of an Office reboot, because they at the same time they announced this, somebody also sort of strategically announced like, hey, we're also going to be angling really hard for an Office reboot. Well, it's like, no shit. Yeah, obviously. You're going to be... I figured. You mean the most popular show? We're going to try to do the
thing that would make us the most money.
Yeah.
Seems like a strange business move.
Yeah, our most popular show right now, and possibly... ever. It's one of their most popular shows the last 30 years, for sure. You're going to try a reboot. Yeah, what a shocker. I mean... They'll probably do it. Yeah, it'll work. They'll get the Office reboot. Whether or not they get all of the people to be involved, I don't know. And if you can't get Steve Carell, I would say why bother? But I don't know.
Isn't that the truth? Speaking of The Office, did you hear about the new podcast that's coming out?
Yeah, I'm a little cranky right now, but just in general, a little cranky this morning. But I'm so burned out on like celebrities starting podcasts. Like,
they're taking our corner, huh?
Leave podcast to the layman, the everyman. Instead, you got like I don't know, just like Dak Shepard and Conan and all these guys like that have like pre-established brands and channels that are making money. They're like, let me get into the podcast game. It's like, come on, get real. I think it should have been illegal to start a podcast after what year did we start? 2015 or 2016?
2016.
Okay, that's the last year anyone should have been allowed to start podcasts.
Well, yeah. I mean, it obviously validates podcasting in general, but it's tough because those are brand names that people like and know and love, and like people are going to listen to that Jenna Fisher and Angela. Oh,
good Lord, Jordan. Come on.
Sorry, my dad wants to talk to me.
This is episode 150. Turn your phone off.
Jenna
Put
Fisher
it on airplane
and Angela.
mode.
Do not disturb, please. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess, it's good that they're getting into the game, but it's bad for us because they're going to take listeners away. Although we don't have an Office podcast, so.
What if Tim Allen started a home improvement podcast?
He certainly would be able to. I mean, I don't know that it would be good, but he would definitely land more of the cast and crew than we can. So I guess that would be tough.
Yeah, I guess like returning to the reboot stuff, because that is kind of why we bring this up. Because with and Wind Dancer and Disney did settle a while back. So like Disney Plus is like doing, I don't know. There are some reboots on Disney Plus too, right? Or no?
Yeah, there's going to be some reboots there too.
They're doing like spin-offs, like they're doing they're trying to do Star Wars stuff with Ewan McGregor and like taking like spinning off characters
and Boba Fett and stuff.
Yeah, so
they're doing Home Alone reboots.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I died and then I rolled over in my grave when that happened. But
Night at the Museum as well.
Mostly stuff I don't care about, but.
Yeah, a lot of like Cheaper by the Dozen, stuff like that, stuff that we don't necessarily care about. But they do have a lot of like original series, which, that's where Netflix has put a lot of its money because it saw this coming, obviously, so it wants to kind of get there. The tough thing about like Netflix original series, at least for me, like, I don't know, like they don't have like memorable characters to build from, like legacy characters like Disney would have, or even The Office, so that's gonna be maybe a little tough for them. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're worried or not, but
I'm sure they're worried. They went from being one of the very few streaming services to losing a bunch of stuff and having a ton of competition. So I'm sure they're kind of worried. But I guess I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now, and I want to say something that I would not have said probably 2 years ago. But I do think we're going to get a Home Improvement reboot. I just feel like we're heading in that direction. Disney and
From
Windancer
everywhere.
are good. They're everywhere. Disney Plus is coming. They're really looking for content. I kind of have a feeling in the next 2 to 3 years we're going to get something. That's just my opinion.
So you're gonna say, like, when we finally finish this podcast and we think we're finally out of the grips of Home Improvement, it's gonna pull us back in.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, that would also be pretty fast, but because we're going to be done in about a year or so. I mean, I'm not keeping track of my calendar or anything. I don't have like the final day.
No, not like September 19th, 2020.
Yeah, it's definitely not September 19th of next year or anything. But yeah, that's just kind of how I'm feeling. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just feels like we're heading in that direction.
I don't think it's a crazy guess.
So let me ask you, it just might work. What do you got?
The streaming wars. Who do you think is going to win?
The consumer.
I think maybe not the consumer, based on what you were talking about earlier.
It feels like not the consumer because if I want to watch all this stuff that is good, I'm gonna have to pay way more. Who's gonna win? I don't know. Corporate fat cats. Probably.
It's been a long time since I've heard corporate fat cats.
Who's gonna win? I don't know. Disney, I guess.
I think they might.
Disney's always coming out on top. It feels like
it's tough because they've got Disney, they've got ESPN, and they've got Hulu all together. So that's quite a library to pull from, and then obviously all their stuff. And I know that, I don't know if you saw this, but they're going to start releasing like those new shows. They're going to do weekly, kind of like TV used to be, instead of the binging as much.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting move. But that'll obviously create more longevity for their platform as well.
I have a real, binging is kind of complicated for me because I don't know, like, I will, if I can binge a show, like, I'm trying to think of a show I binged recently, like Mindhunter on Netflix. Like, Mindhunter came out on a Friday, and we finished it by, like, probably Sunday evening, and that's, like, 10 hours. It was a slow weekend, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I loved it, and I was happy to binge it, and I was having so much fun. But then it was over, and I'm going to have to wait another 2 years for Mindhunter, and I don't really remember any of it. You know? Like, it's just one big blob.
Then you got to watch it, then you got to binge it again.
Yeah, but whereas a show like HBO shows, like Succession is on right now on HBO, and or like True Detective Season 3 or whatever before, and I have something I look forward to every Monday or Sunday night, like, man, I can... And I'm really able to think about the episodes and kind of, ingest
process them.
Process them over the course of the week. And it's just like, I don't know, like, I guess I do prefer that experience of the weekly stuff.
I do too.
It's good to have both. It's good to have options, I guess, like either way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to and like Hulu does weird things where when Hulu, I'm trying to, like with Handmaid's Tale or like some of their shows, like they'll drop 3 right away and then they'll go weekly after that. And I kind of like that option as well.
That's the podcast model when you're launching a podcast. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well,
that's how you get on New and Noteworthy. So I hear. Not
really?
that we've ever been there, but I mean, for content creators like us, which weekly shows, I guess, is better for us. You know, we can have the weekly show, talk about it,
right.
Maybe speculate a little bit. So I don't know. I like that better in general, but it does it does help the corporate fat cats, as you say.
And those corporate fat cats, man, haven't they been helped enough?
The 1%ers.
They're just lining their pockets, if you know what I'm saying.
Just like we are.
On the one final thing on TV, HBO Righteous Gemstones. It's a really funny show about like mega churches and stuff. Mm-hmm. And got a little Home Improvement alum in the last episode. An old friend I like to call the Colonel showed up in the last episode of Righteous Gemstones, and it's kind of like you're spoiling the kids. That's what he said. He basically had one line. He played a cranky grandfather in a flashback. He looked 300 years old, but he had that same Colonel charm. You know, it was great to see him.
Same Colonel charm.
He looks the same as he did on Home Improvement, which is to say very old. But it was crazy. He just like shows up in one scene of the show, and he's like playing John Goodman's dad, and hey John, what are you using the church's money for? It's really great.
He doesn't sound very aggressive.
He's old and feeble.
I guess so.
Like you.
That is the truth, isn't it?
That's right. That's all I got. So, you want to roll in the episode?
I do. That was a great opening segment, Adam.
Hey, thanks, Jordan.
Back-to-back episodes, Dracula and the Colonel. It's pretty good.
It's always good to have, some fresh blood in the studio. So, yeah, I mean, we have an open door policy. So
we bring on the guests.
Speaking of an open door policy, I'll tease something. I got a little interview with a famous home improvement celebrity at the end of the show today. I'm just kidding. It's an interview, a conversation with a friend of mine. But at first I thought about teasing it as we got a real famous star, but then people would be kind of mad. So there's an interesting conversation at the end of the show I had with a buddy of mine, just kind of riffing on home improvement. Stick around if you want to. I know he'd appreciate it.
Yeah, you can get a taste of what a show would be like without Jordan, which you might like better.
Comparable, I would say.
Comparable. All right, that's good. All right, well, this episode is episode 148, Family Unties.
Yeesh.
Yeah. Written by Ruth Bennett, who last did Al's Video. And Ruth actually wrote 26 episodes of Family Ties, which I guess is where this episode title comes from.
Okay, you think it's riffing on Family Ties? I didn't quite get that. It was sort of subtle.
Very subtle. This one aired on April 29th, 1997. Let's do some alternative titles. I have 4.
1, 2. Yeah, 4. Mine are not funny, though, this week. It wasn't really working for me. And I know I say that sometimes when they're funny, but they're not this week.
Well, I'll try to be less generous in my laughter.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, first one. Rock and Roll Hall of Lame.
Good one, yeah. Beware of Hardware.
I'm going to say the opposite of that, but it's related, I think. The Tool Man Bump.
Okay. Tool Con. Like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yep, good one.
Yeah, very good. Exponential Disappointment.
Oh, Expo, got it, okay. This one sucks, and it's also like a spelling gag, so it's really hard to do on a podcast.
Getting pretty heady.
Not even. Okay. Moms away, but it's spelled like moms is spelled like bombs. I don't know. Just kill me, I guess. It sucks.
All right, last one for me. The Fifth Beatle.
Oh, Wilson. Okay. Last one for me. Always nice to meet a fan, because there's big fans.
Yeah,
I told you. I struggled.
One of the very, very rare weeks where I think I might have had better titles than you.
Yeah. I mean,
when you do 148 episodes, there's got to be like one.
Yeah. Also, I think Family Unties is just such a good title. I didn't even feel like trying.
Yeah, good point.
I'm not even trying, Jordan.
That's what people say when like they just want to get out. They're
it's
done.
like, I'm just not even trying. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll into this episode.
You want to open at home?
Yeah, we got to open at home. Go ahead.
It's
a Jordan subversion to start the episode.
Jill is grooving as she takes out the trash in her morning robe. I think she's got like a Walkman or something on her ears, and she's dancing. I don't even know what song it was, but she's having a good time. Wilson's out there and catches her in the act. Yep. Is this a Wilson scene? I guess probably not till later, but it's a pseudo Wilson scene. She's excited to go to the hardware show, which is confusing to Wilson, but she loves to go because she gets to spend quality time with her boys. Apparently they do this every year. It's amazing that we've been in 7 seasons and I've never heard it, but they do this every year. Wilson reminisces about spending time with his mother. They made cookies and did astral projections. Something we do every Tuesday. Jill reminisces on her older trips as well, talking about all the stuff that they've been doing. And this year they're going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Tim comes out to interrupt this conversation. He says he souped up the car. He's got 6 suitcases for swag. He's excited as well. And then Wilson drops the line here, because they're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that he was friends with the Beatles.
Oh, man. Yep.
I think before there was an episode where we wondered if they couldn't say the Beatles or something. So I guess this episode puts that to rest. All
right. I can't remember if it was that they couldn't say the Beatles or they couldn't say Beatles songs. Like they couldn't sing the lyrics. I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
I feel like they were talking about like the Beatles in general, but yeah, right. I don't know.
Okay. Couple things to respond to here. You said Jill's holding a Walkman. It was actually a Zune.
What a mistake.
That's really all I had. No, I got more. Okay. This Wilson Beatles thing is dumb. He just had the Beach Boys hang out in the side yard like 4 episodes ago. Like, can we try something else?
No, this is the only thing they got.
Why does it have to be the Beatles? Why can't it be like Kurt Cobain? Wilson is like, yeah, I'm actually...
I guess that's less believable than the Beatles?
She was a grunge band. He's like, yeah, I'm actually in Mudhoney.
Oh, man.
Just
wait till you get the picture later. That's ridiculous.
I don't remember seeing a picture.
Oh, man. It's not good.
I got a lot on my plate right now. Let's talk about Cleveland, Jordan. This episode is a Cleveland-centric episode, and that Joe wants to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have been. Have you?
I have not.
Have you been to Cleveland?
I'll need to take my dad to the medical clinic there. So,
riff? Let's riff on that for a bit.
Not a real memorable stay. Cleveland Medical Clinic. It was very nice establishment. We drove pretty early in the morning. I think it was something to do with his foot, which he's still dealing with. Not really the doctor's fault, I'm guessing, though. So
okay.
There's my riff.
Man, you really know how to bring the funny to this podcast.
You asked me to talk about it.
It's true. I took like a weekend trip to Cleveland with my dad, probably in high school. We basically did all the things Jill wanted to do. We went to Jacobs Field, saw an Indians-Tigers game, went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, etc., etc. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is cool, I think. There are some jokes later on where it's like Bob Dylan's report card and stuff. It actually is. That actually is pretty true to life, where you're like, you find yourself like looking at John Lennon's like
toothbrush
pair of boyhood shorts or something, and you're like, wow, so cool. But it actually is it's a fun place, and it's shaped like a pyramid, so that's kind of cool. I think it's shaped like a pyramid. I should check on that before I say that. Might be thinking of something else.
Maybe it's a casino.
It could be it, but no, I had a good time in Cleveland, and unlike the Taylor boys, I'm a good child to my parents, and I didn't bail on my dad when we took a trip there. So
we'll talk a little bit more about the stuff that they do instead. But yeah, they're not interested in hanging out with mommy.
No, I'm still trying to find out if it's shaped like a pyramid. It is shaped like a pyramid. Perfect. Okay, awesome.
Adam, when we get inducted into the Podcast Hall of Fame, what random article of clothing or something is going to be there for you?
Man. I'm trying to think, like, what do I record in mostly? Well, the nude typically, so that's hard to go with. No, I would want, oh man, I guess I would give like some notes or something, like episode notes from an episode that I liked. That would be a good bit of memorabilia.
I think I'd be willing to give my microphone.
Wow, man. It was probably like $30, so I don't know why you'd do something like that.
It's the color of champagne, and it was a gift from my wife. But you know what? It deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's true, yeah. So between the notes and the microphone, I think we'd have a nice little display.
A little booth.
Obviously, our Bill O'Leary episode where he does fake cocaine would be highlighted as well. Man,
that's gained some traction on YouTube, by the way.
Has it?
Well, more than our other videos.
He's back from... Hey, Jordan, he's back from Africa, so I don't know.
Well, maybe we can get him back on.
Yeah, he's a little busy right now. Right. Okay, so next scene. This episode, I don't know, man. I don't know. They arrive at the hotel. Kids had to pee the whole time, but Tim wouldn't stop. Tim meets a guy he recognizes. I believe his name Lou, and they're old buddies. He has a son named Kevin who is a nerd. Randy meets him, and they nerd out over computers. Jill goes to the front. You got something? Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Do you think this is a joke? So Lou works on like bathroom fixtures. Is this like a toilet joke? Calling him Lou?
The Lou?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
No, they don't think that far ahead. Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, like, I guess I don't know. I doubt it. He should have been called John.
Yeah, John Lou.
No, just no, just John.
He should have been called Urinal, huh?
He should have been called crapper.
Sorry,
okay.
I interrupted you. I wondered if they were doing something like that, but I
Have
guess
the
not.
decency to wait until the end of the scene, like I do. Jill makes a weird Michael Jackson joke here. She goes to the concierge and like they're like talking, and I don't know. This guy's weird. I'm gonna do a bio on him in a second, but like, do you remember it's like
The changing face of rock and roll.
yeah, and she's like, what, like Michael Jackson? It's like, what the heck, Jill? That's weird. It's kind of funny.
It's very out of character for her, though.
Did you like it? Those were the kind of jokes that people were making around that time about Michael Jackson. Now it's an entirely different conversation, which
It's a
we will
much
not
different
get
conversation.
into. But
No. I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. I didn't chuckle. I was surprised by it. Is how
well,
I
you
felt.
have better Michael Jackson jokes, so why don't you just tell some of them?
This is not the time nor the place.
All right. And then the guy is like offended, which is weird. Like I don't. That guy was
Cleveland's
weird.
his home.
Yeah, but like I don't know. That guy, concierge, who does have a name, and his name is
Concierge Marie.
His name is the Clerk, according to IMDb. He's played by Eric Syett. 42 credits to his name. He was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Really?
Godzilla 1998, which I saw as part of Kyle Bro's birthday party and was pretty boring. Steel, the Shaq Marvel movie, which was back when Marvel didn't have its act together. In Groundhog's Day, so a couple pretty good movies.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at all from any of those things, but
Me neither, but you probably recognize him from his work on...
I mean, if you put on the episode again, I wouldn't recognize him from watching the episode earlier this week.
This is his second episode of Home Improvement. He played Barry in Totally Tool Time. What's
Barry.
Totally Tool Time?
That's when the Swedish
the
people
Swedes?
buy. Yeah.
Is he a Swede?
No. No way.
Okay, well, he's also in Buddies, so he must have been like friends with somebody behind
Yeah.
the scenes. Wow. What an interesting thing.
You never know what you're going to find when you go on IMDb.
I wish he was on Smart Guy, then we could really complete the circle.
Smart Guy and Sister and
Like Murphy Brown or something. Alright.
there's a joke here about a pool skimmer that's really good that ends the scene.
I don't remember it. Go ahead.
Tim, he's showing some of the stuff that he already got from the expo, I guess. And he has a pool skimmer, and Jill says, "We don't even have a pool." And he says, "It's for your gravy."
Is that like a
Oh
C
my
or
gosh.
C plus or something? I don't know. Where
It's pretty brutal. I don't know
All
where it lands.
Okay, all right. We're in the suite. I've heard of the sweet life of Zach and Cody, but the sweet life of Tim and Jill and Randy and Mark and Brad? Come on.
That's a long title.
Man, these jokes are good. I'm as funny as the episode. All right. Kids, it's the next day, I guess? Or no, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's next morning.
Okay, kids want to keep sleeping. Jill's ready to go. Let's get out. Let's see Cleveland. Tim, he comes back from the expo. He got a break, but he's already filled up these suitcases with various things. I don't know. Jill's kind of getting frustrated. Tim has to get back down to sign autographs, which I thought was kind of funny, and then we get a joke about that a little bit later. But I don't know. That's all I really got.
Yeah, Brad. Did you say Brad was already down there at the expo?
I did not say that. Brad is, he's into the expo, but we find out why a little bit later, and it has to do with babes. Hubba hubba.
Yeah, no wonder he's down there all the time, I guess.
Yeah.
Teenage boy like him. Yeah, Brad's down there. Mark and Randy just kind of want to sleep. They throw pillows at their mother, and Tim goes back to his fans. So, yeah, there's not much to that scene. There's a couple quick scenes. This next one's also a quick one. We go later on the expo floor. This was the joke that you were just mentioning. There's a signing little table here. It's got Al, Heidi, and Tim. Heidi has a lengthy line to sign photos. Tim and Al are just kind of like hanging out, playing cards. They don't have anybody in their lines. And Al attributes this to a swimsuit calendar that Heidi put out. So...
yeah.
There's a couple jokes here about like we should have put out a swimsuit calendar or something like that, and
I think they should have. I'd be down for that.
all right.
You don't think so? Hey man,
I don't know.
it's 2019. I'm down to see anything. Yeah.
What do you think the poses are for that calendar?
It's just like Heidi's calendar, but they're just like wearing Speedos, I guess.
I was thinking they would do like that first episode where Tim takes Was it the first one? Tim takes off his shirt. He's just got like the tool belt with Mark.
Yeah.
I thought they'd do more of that kind of angle, but
well, also
knows?
you got to do a little bit. You got to do some Tarzan stuff, right? I mean, like you got to do some Tarzan stuff. So yeah, somebody's swinging from a, I don't know, what is it, a vine, I guess.
Yeah, it's a vine.
You got to do some Tarzan stuff. Obviously, somebody is on top of like a car.
Like washing a car.
No, like just like laying across the front of a car's hood, probably. Okay. Also one more thing. You get a gag. Okay, there's like a license plate gag as well, where it's like Al is like standing by a license plate, and it's like, I don't know. There's like a joke or something. Like it's like it's I don't know. I can't think of what joke, but it's like there's a license plate joke in the spread as well. Gotta be.
There's probably one where they're like naked standing behind a jackhammer or something.
Oh my god, yeah, you're totally right. They're definitely doing that. They're definitely standing behind jackhammers. Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah.
I guess this isn't so much a swimsuit calendar as just like softcore
like
porn.
Playgirl or something. Yeah. Also into that. Sure, why not? Let's try something new. All right, next scene, Jordan. I'm gonna let you continue.
Later, it's on. We're on Tool Time on location, so this is the big reason that they come here every year. I'm guessing they head to Lou's bathroom booth, and Lou showcases a very small hideaway home urinal, which I don't know, seems unnecessary, but the guys are pretty excited about it. They move on after. They don't demo that, which is good. You know, that would have been a bit too far. They move on to the insulation booth, which is just around the corner here, talking about environmentally sound insulation using newspaper. And then Tim moves to the third booth. So he's just, he's getting all these Tool Time on locations in for these people. And he's at the fan booth. And they've got big fans, light fans, industrial fans, everything.
It's always nice to meet a fan.
That's right. And they don't get any bigger than this. So Tim plugs in a fan and for a demonstration, and newspaper just goes everywhere from the insulation booth. And not only does it blow newspaper away, the insulation guy, I don't know if we ever get his name, but he apparently is wearing a hairpiece, and that just starts flying away. And they do this kind of extended, I would say, for maybe like 10 seconds. I wrote it down too.
It's way longer than you think it's going to be.
Yeah, you would have thought, like, hey, we can do this for 3 seconds. But you know what? I kind of like that they committed to it, and it was kind of funny. The insulation guy, you thought he would be mad.
Yeah.
His booth gets messed up, his hairpiece flies off. But no, he's excited. It's an honor to be messed up by Tim for his great gags. We get this joke a few times in the series where people think he does this on purpose. And he says it's great for publicity, so he's happy to get the Toolman bump.
I actually think that the wig gag is pretty good because I don't think you see the guy before that, right? It's like you don't see the guy. So
I think you might, but it's like very briefly, really so you can't.
But like
notice
the camera like slowly pans down, and like you see this like bald guy, and then like he reaches for something. It's like I don't know. It's not spoon fed to you in a way a lot of home improvement jokes maybe are. So I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. I mean, for some of the gags that they do, I like this one.
Yeah. All right. So we're in the lobby. Jill meets up with Brad, but Brad, he doesn't really want to hang out with his mom. He's interested in checking out more of the show. So the kids are pretty brutal in this one. Pretty selfish. So he just like kind of bails. Randy and Mark are supposed to meet Jill in the lobby. They head down. Randy decides he wants to meet up with that nerd. But they're going to the mall. Like they're going to some Cleveland mall. Is that fun? I don't know. It seems like I'd rather. Also,
it's a teen thing.
Jill's dangling lunch in front of these kids. I mean, they don't know the value of a free lunch, and they will as they get older. But
there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Well, I don't know. When your mom's buying it for you, it kind of feels like there is. But
well, there's strings attached. You have to go to the Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm just different than these boys, I guess, because that sounds fun to me.
You're a good kid. That's why. Always have been.
You're a good kid, Jordan. Randy bails. He's going to hang out at the mall, do some mall rat kind of stuff with this nerd, and then it's just Jill and Mark. I thought for a second Mark was going to do the right thing, but he's like, "I can't hang out with you by myself, Mom. That's so weird," and he just fails.
He says he's going to go play video games.
He loves video games.
He does. He's a gamer. I wish he would have went to that phase forever instead of the goth phase, but that's not what we got coming.
I am excited for the goth phase. Also, I don't know. Like, you get more out of a goth phase than a gamer phase. He's already in a gamer phase.
I'd like to see him go to gaming competitions and get really angry and all this kind of stuff. His brothers can make fun of him because he wants to like be considered a real athlete like Brad or something.
No, he like is getting He's like telling his mom he doesn't need to get a job because he gets sponsored to play like some video game crap. Like, I feel like, hey, I'm not going to name any names, but we knew some people in high school that were always trying to pull that crap. Like, I get paid to play Halo, you know? And it's like, well, you did once, like $40, but yeah, you're a pro. I don't know. Kind of seems like bull crap.
Hey, once you accept money, you're no longer an amateur.
Yeah, sure, okay. Next scene.
Back on location.
Yeah, go ahead, Jordan. On location. Mom's away.
Mom's away. This one, maybe not as good as the other one, but we're at the pest control booth. They're talking about sonar pest control, a revolution in pest control. Jill flags down Tim in the middle of a show. Like, he's recording live, and Jill is, like, waving her hands exaggeratedly. He thinks, obviously, something bad has happened, but she really just wants to have, like, this conversation where she's upset about her boys. In public, everyone kind of is listening in, and Tim says, you know what, this is really not the time nor the place. Got to agree with him here, but...
Fair point, yeah.
Yeah, Tim goes over, I don't know what's happening, but he, like, knocks over the mosquitoes, and they fly out. And these are, like, the most rabid mosquitoes of all time, because they are just biting people left and right and causing all sorts of chaos. And what they should do is just turn on the fans, because that would keep them away. But
good point. I thought the fact that they made it so clear that they were full of West Nile seemed like an odd choice. I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like giving everybody a death wish seemed a little out of left field, but that's just me.
In that scenario, do you think Tim gets sued by everyone here? I think so.
For knocking over the mosquitoes? No. Well, are they Tim's mosquitoes or no? They're somebody else's, right?
Yeah, it's the pest control mosquitoes.
No, he's at fault. They're his mosquitoes. You have to assume responsibility for your own mosquitoes.
All right. Well, it sounds like a pretty... I don't know. A lot of legal challenges are going to happen.
Okay, Jordan,
here.
let me explain it to you like this. All right.
Can we get the Bernsteins on the line?
Well, one of them's a judge. It's like this kind of situation, which I don't know if it's fair, but this is true. This isn't that funny. But, all right, so you're at a bar. You drink too much.
This doesn't sound like me.
You get into an accident and something bad happens. They would say that the bartender might be at fault for overserving. And that's just kind of the same thing with the mosquitoes.
What do we think about that? Do we think the bartender's at fault?
Bartenders get, like, I mean, I don't know. No.
If you're a bartender, do you have to have, like, insurance for that kind of stuff then?
Do you have to, or can you? I don't even know if you can. But that's a thing that happens all the time. Like, people will, like bartenders or bars or restaurants will get, like,
Does
sued.
it work? Does it work because people don't take their responsibility for themselves? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but like the bars and stuff have money, so I guess people are just like going after whoever has the most money. But yeah, that's the thing that happened. So basically, it's just like this mosquito situation. Man, nothing funnier than drunk driving. Right.
Yeah.
The scene ends with Brad wants to get a photo with a couple of babes.
Yeah, pretty much. Tim is saying that, like, so as Jill's complaining about the boys not wanting to hang out, Tim's like, this is normal, you know, they're teenagers, all that kind of stuff. And let's talk about this later. So yeah, as you said, Brad wants to talk to some babes.
Is this where Brad bails on Tim, or is that later?
That is later. I think that's actually when he talks about babes. I think it's the next scene.
All right. Well, I gotta say, Brad's behavior in this episode really reminded me of how you used to behave in high school.
Go on. Can you give specific examples?
Yeah, you always wanted to hang out with bikini babes.
Especially in January. They're just all around in Davison.
You and I were always going to expos, and you were like, yeah, I can't have lunch with you, Adam, or go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have to get pictures with babes in front of weird backdrops.
So what expos did we go to? We obviously went to a painting expo for my dad.
Had to go to a painting expo. You wanted to go to, like, that... Oh, what was that? It was like a...
There was that magic one that I wanted to go to.
Yeah. I believe it was called Midland Magic Con 2007. That was a good one. Pulling rabbits out of hats. Ain't no thing. That was the slogan. Well, you wanted to go to... Oh, there was that Kogel Expo in Flint.
Oh, man.
KogelCon.
They're always in good taste.
Yes, and that expo was as well.
That one you can't complain about, though.
That was tasteful. Yeah, It was surprisingly elegant. You know, you think you're going out there by the Flint airport, it's going to be noisy. It wasn't.
Bishop Airport, one of the best things about Flint. Just gonna say it.
You said it, and you're not wrong. If you can fly out of Bishop or into Bishop, yeah, you're in a good situation. Mm-hmm. Cool. Let's stop this.
Let's stop there.
Okay.
We've let that go long enough. Yeah. Later, this is the next scene. Al has been bitten up a ton. He's got, bites all over his face and some ointment as well. Tool Time is booked solid with remotes. The publicity is going great for them. So that's exciting, right? Everybody wants to have the Toolman at their booth. They got lots of stuff to record. Tim meets up with Brad here, tries to set some time to hang out later, see some of the stuff at the expo, and also tries to talk some sense into Brad, like, hey, be nice to your mom. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll be nice when we get home. Real jerk move. And he also bails right now to go see those babes that you were talking about earlier. Al comes back, and he's got something enticing for their next remote. He's got forklifts next to windows. Think of the possibilities. And Tim does the unthinkable here.
Yeah.
He bails on it, and he says, I got some stuff to fix with his family.
Sometimes you don't need to fix things with tools. Sometimes you need to use your heart.
This is, I guess, in direct contrast to the last episode where he is putting work over family. In this case, he's putting family over work.
I think you should put money over everything. MOE.
Well, he's not doing that here, so yeah, Tim would say something different, I guess.
That's true. All right. Back in the room. There's like a reoccurring gag throughout about the concierge getting them to put Cajun hot fries in the vending machine.
His idea.
Yeah, I gotta say, oh man, your daughter is getting upset about Cajun fries. She doesn't like them.
Doesn't like spicy.
Yeah, she doesn't like. It's just like her dad. I gotta say, by the third Cajun hot fry joke, I was kind of into it because I always like it when a joke is not funny the first time, but they just go to the well so many times that it kind of forces me to laugh. This was an example of that, so it was kind of funny. Jill's pigging out. She's depressed. She's raided the mini bar. There are a lot of jokes about how much everything costs in the mini bar, seemingly true to life. Tim comes up. He kind of bonds with Jill because he had a similar situation with Brad. The thesis of this scene is kids grow up so fast. I don't know.
I wrote kids grow up so fast, exclamation point.
Yeah,
so.
Me too. With an exclamation point as well. There is one funny thing here, which I guess I'd never really thought about, but Tim says it's kind of unfortunate how the minute your kids are cool enough to actually want to hang out with, you can have fun with your kids as adults, they stop wanting to hang out with you. So that was kind of interesting. Jill cries, but she feels better. Tim sees Jill in a vulnerable state and says, I think it's a good time to try to have sex with her. And that's how the scene ends.
He does do that. There is a line here where I guess this is the real, if you're looking for the underlying motivation of Jill wanting to spend so much time with her kids here, Jill basically says she doesn't want it to be like her relationship with her parents.
What? We have a good relationship, Jill. What are you talking about, Taylor? It's funny that he just plays a crotchety, in Righteous Gemstones, it's the same thing, just a crotchety dad that kids have to have problems with for years later. Yeah, just forever kind of alienating his children.
That's his role. I mean, everyone has their niche, so he's got his. But yeah, I feel like they, in previous episodes, I felt like they would have really played that part up, as the underlying issue of everything going on. In this episode, it just kind of passes by, and they don't really talk about it at all.
They missed an opportunity to call the Colonel, give me a split-screen conversation. I'm just watching Patton.
You got bombs going off in the background, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But no, we don't get it. That's unfortunate.
So. I agree. It's a really... They shoehorned it in. I don't know. It doesn't really add up to me, but...
No.
And last final scene. All right. Jill brought a photo from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did we see the photo?
We do see the photo. She holds it up, or he holds it up. I forget which, but
I don't know if I saw it. What is it?
It's a photo of young Wilson with the Beatles. Everybody's young, and Wilson is, of course, hiding his face, and he has his hat on.
I don't know how I missed that because I was not on my phone during this episode, which is not real common. But I did miss that. Kids come outside and they all feel bad. I don't know why they feel bad. They didn't seem to earlier. They feel bad about how they treated their mom. So they did what kids do. They gave her a crappy homemade gift.
Oh, man.
A quilt made out of their old clothes.
This is definitely one of those ideas, like, it seems like a good idea, but she'll never use it, and it's, like,
ugly as sin. Yeah.
And impractical. So, that is a move that young children make.
Final gag, Tim's boxer shorts are on the quilt.
Yeah, and he's been wearing them since,
He got married? He proposed or something?
And he only, like, stopped wearing them, like, last Tuesday or something, so.
Roll credits, fade to black, family unties. Jordan, highs and lows.
Highs. I really like the wind gag scene. Like, that made me laugh genuinely.
Yeah.
Not a lot of other stuff that I really like here necessarily. Like, you talked about the Wilson and Beatles thing being kind of like a redo of the Beach Boys and Wilson. So I don't know. Why is that the thing? The boys are just kind of rough in this episode, and like, I just don't believe that Mark doesn't want to hang out with his mom. That's like totally a Mark move. So believability is low for me. Other than that, it's not real memorable. Like, they do a lot of tool time on location. They do a lot of Brad going down to look at babes. There's I guess the funny joke of like Heidi getting a bunch of people in her line and nobody wants to hang out with Tim or Al. So that's about it for the high for me. It's not a real interesting episode. I didn't like the clerk as much as he got screen time, so I felt like he was kind of extraneous and didn't really provide a lot. So, not my favorite episode of the season. What about you?
I didn't really like this episode either. I don't know. Yeah, I as far as highs go, there really isn't much. I didn't find it funny. I didn't really like the through line. Wasn't that happy with any of the jokes. There just really wasn't a lot I liked. If I had to say something, I would say they really committed to that Cajun fry joke, I guess. So that's something. You know, it's always, whenever you can take a not funny joke and hammer it home a couple more times, why not?
That's kind of what we do. That's why you like it so much.
Yeah, it rang true to me. Lows, I mean, like I just said, it isn't funny. The boys are pretty unlikable. The conclusion is dumb. Wilson and the Beatles thing, like, why can't Wilson be in like a movie or if known an author or something? Why does it have to be this exact same joke we had like 4 episodes ago? What else? Yeah, I mean, just there really isn't a lot here. I didn't enjoy any aspect of it, and I'm ready to move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
That's fine
How's
by me.
that for analysis?
Take that for data. All right, let's move on to not a new segment, an old segment with a new name. This is going to be Castle's Corner.
Whoa.
And this is our social media corner, named after a wonderful patron who's been a supporter for a long time. So Castle's Corner. Thank you, Stacy.
I thought it was named after Castle, the TV show.
Well,
he's an author who helps the police solve crimes.
Well, it's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
Okay, sure. All right. You ever watch any Castle episodes?
Seen a lot of promos, never turned it on.
Nathan Fillion is Castle.
He's the rookie.
Yeah, now he's the rookie. He's just going from one cop show. He's never can just be a regular cop. First he's an author who works with the cops. Now he's like a 45-year-old rookie. I don't know. It just seems weird. Can't he just be a normal cop?
I don't think he'd have a TV show if he did.
Nathan Fillion is regular-ass policeman on the WB. All right. You want to hear some polls? Because I got a ton of them.
Well, I haven't even gotten to what I want to get to, so hold your horses. This is
going to be a long episode. All right, go ahead.
Sure is. Good. All right, so first...
If this is your mom sharing things, can we skip it?
It's not. I have nothing to share as far as like people talking to us right now, so okay. That's fine. All right, so I was just going to say, if you want to reach out to us, go to the Home and Podcast, Facebook and Twitter at Home and Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, like Castle's Corner here, go to patreon.com/Home and Podcast. Did want to give a shout out to our newest donor, Griffin Holloway, as well. Seems like a stand-up guy. Glad to have him supporting the show. And on YouTube, you can go there as well. We have episodes there. And we're up to 21 YouTube subscribers, Adam. Can you believe it?
Sure.
Seems believable.
Yep.
All right, now let's talk about your Pullapalooza week 2.
So many polls, so little time. All right. First poll. Jordan, who is the most likely to say, quote, "It's not the heat, it's the humidity," end quote, 14 total votes. 7% said Mark, 21% said Jill, 29% said Al, 43% said Tim. I think Al is the most likely to say that. What about you?
I think it's Mark.
All right, cool. Most likely to not like pizza. 20 total votes. Man, you know we've achieved a certain status when these polls are getting any votes.
Yeah, more than we used to get on regular polls. It's very strange to me.
The dumber the polls, the better the response. That's kind of what's happened.
All right, that's the trend we got going here.
Most likely to not like pizza. 20 total votes. 5% said Mark. 5% said Marty. 35% said Jill. 55% said Wilson. I gotta agree. Wilson probably is the least likely to enjoy pizza.
And if he does like pizza, you know it's a real weird pizza.
It's got like trout on it or something.
Oh, gross.
Ew, trout, sick.
That's disgusting.
Little Caesars trout and ready pizza. All right. Are you excited for Mark's goth phase? 21 total votes.
Wow.
48% yes, 52% no. Pretty much split.
Wow.
Should be 100% yes. Get excited.
Yeah, I mean, why aren't you excited?
Weird. I don't know. People are strange these days. Who wins Dancing with the Stars? 22 total votes. 9% said Tim. 23% said Wilson. 32% said Al. 36% said Jill. I gotta agree. I think Jill takes it.
Wow, it seems like our audience is right on cue here. A couple mistakes, but they're doing pretty well.
Not done yet.
Nah, you wouldn't be. How many polls do you do a week right now? 7?
Pull-a-palooza, baby. Is Mark selfish? Is a child on a TV show selfish? 18 total votes. 39% said yes. 61% said no. Gotta agree. Mark is 100% selfish, and we saw it again in this episode.
Did they said 69% no?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's selfish.
And the question was, is Mark selfish?
Yeah.
You said I agree, which made me think you agree with the no's.
Oh, I disagree. Sorry.
Okay.
My bad. My bad. So many polls. I'm getting overload.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that it? There's more?
There's more. There's more. Give me a second. This is probably one of my favorite polls in a while. Which Taylor son is most likely to evade taxes? 21% said Mark. 24% said Randy. 55% said Brad.
That's correct.
I think Mark probably should have more votes, though.
Yeah, I think Randy is not. That's not happening. But it's a battle between Brad and Mark. Mark is because he made a mistake, though.
You sure about that?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Don't they have an episode about tax evasion?
Oh yeah, a very special home improvement on tax evasion. All right, last thing I want to talk about. I posed this question because I was thinking about this recently, like how it's kind of weird that the Taylors don't have they're like the quintessential Midwestern family, a couple working parents, 3 kids, no real pets, no cats or dogs, and I think that's an oversight. I feel like most TV shows don't have this because it's probably hard to film, unless you can get the Bush's Baked Beans Golden Retriever, then that's money. But
and he's really expensive.
And he talks, so I mean that's a different show, you know?
Yeah.
So I asked, why don't the Taylors have a pet? Real answers only. And I got quite a few answers here. All right,
let's hear them.
Anthony Schneider said, Brad killed the fish and evidently Mark had a turtle that was run over. Bad juju with pets. I told him, those aren't really pets.
Tell that to Brad and Mark.
I'm telling you that I don't think those are... I'm talking real pets. All right. Stephanie said...
Don't offend people with turtles or fish pets.
I mean, I know you have rabbits, so I'm not...
One of the weirdest thing when we went looking for houses, we walked in this one house. It was the biggest fish tank I've ever seen, just like in the living room.
Dude, that was a thing in the 90s and early 2000s. I remember my mom's friend from work had like a fish tank that was... I mean, it was like an entire wall. It was huge.
That's how it was. This took up the whole
aquarium.
It took up the whole dining room. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know how you're supposed to like envision a place when you go in there? Yeah. I couldn't envision myself with that. So.
All right. Stephanie said, Tim would have tried to give the pet more power. What does that mean, like electrocute it?
He's going to put like a screwdriver in the pet's paw?
I don't know, that sounds bad. Yeah, I'm not even going to weigh on that. Anthony Hefner said, Tim probably would have... Probably because Tim would probably let the dog, I don't know what that means, or it would get lost and Wilson would find it later. So Anthony says that Tim would lose the dog. Somebody would lose the dog, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would be an episode.
Sounds like a good episode, though. Griffin Holloway, the man of the hour.
Yeah,
says,
buddy.
Brad killing Howard the fish pretty much ruined their chances of ever owning a pet. I don't get why that. Why? It's just a goldfish. And
I think we killed a couple fishies in high school on accident.
Happens to the best of us. Natalie Buongiorno said that Mark had a hamster.
They did mention that. Remember, we wanted to see the hamster.
I said it doesn't really count as a pet. I kind of have strong opinions on pets.
I would say so. What makes your list of pets?
Cat and dog.
Define me. That's it. It could be a cat and dog, and that's it.
Yeah. You disagree?
Yeah, it seems a pretty strange
Pretty
stance
narrow.
to take. Yeah. It can't be a pet otherwise. Okay, well, that's interesting. What's the weirdest pet you've ever heard somebody having?
I mean, you have rabbits. That's quite strange.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know anybody else that has it, and I know a lot of people.
I know a lot of people.
Weird pets.
Somebody I know once had a squirrel for a pet. That was probably the weirdest.
In Michigan or Florida?
I think at the time they were in Pennsylvania. Does that explain it?
You know people in Pennsylvania? A million follow-ups we don't have time for. That is weird. I don't know. Pets that are weird. I mean, Kyle Mann's had an iguana. That was weird.
Oh, I forgot about that iguana. It always kind of creeped me out.
Yeah, those are weird. They're not... I mean, I don't know. I guess you gotta call them pets, but I'm thinking cats and dogs are real pets. If you're creating a pyramid of pets, cats and dogs are at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tier 1.
I mean, I can agree with that, at least, but I think the others are still pets.
I'll agree to disagree, Jordan. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, we won't continue we don't want to create divisions here on Home and Podcast. We want to create unity, so we won't continue down that road. But
yeah, good call.
Adam, are there any more polls before you want to run this interview that you had? This very important interview that, I mean, will probably change the way that we see home improvement for the rest of our lives.
I couldn't believe that. To answer your first question, no, that's all the polls for this week. I'll do more next week. I could tell you wanted more. It was weird we were able to get Tim Allen for this episode at the end. It's weird.
And it's also weird that we just tacked it onto a regular episode for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Sometimes it's cool to have something really big and you kind of release it quietly.
Just let it kind of grow from the ground up. New idea, though. Yeah. Let's just find a bunch of people named Tim Allen and try to interview them.
That is a pretty good idea, Jordan. I'll let you find them. Sounds like a good job for you.
I'm going to contact every Tim Allen I can find.
Let's go through all of Tim Allen's followers like we did that, or who Tim Allen follows on Twitter. That was funny. Yeah, we got Tim Allen here. It's a short conversation. No, it's my friend Troy. He came up. He wanted to talk home improvement. He is a fan of the podcast, so we talk about... he has some memories of a home improvement school play, brought out some memories of my own to share, and then we just started talking about home improvement as a whole. It's a pretty good conversation, about 20 minutes. I hope you enjoy it. And Jordan, what are we covering next week?
Next week, we're covering The Feminine Mistake.
Wow. Okay, this sounds great. Sounds sexy. Yeah, and season is winding down here. We're almost to the end of season. Is this 6 or 7?
I think.
I honestly don't know.
Maybe 6. I don't know. At this point,
we're nearing the end of the season, and then we'll have our season in summation. And I always like to do those. So.
Yeah,
cool,
you're excited for that. I'm not so much, but yeah, I think this is. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, this is season 6. I was gonna say there's no way to the last season already. Yeah, season 6. We got 3 episodes left. That's it.
Wow, and then winding it down. Well, Jordan, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We're gonna roll that interview, and we'll see y'all next week. I guess I should say tentatively. Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Troy, you're a Home and Podcast listener and a close friend of mine. Friend, I guess, close. Yeah. I don't know. And, we've been talking a little bit back and forth lately about podcasts, and you'll sometimes listen and have things to say about the show. And you told me recently that you had a home improvement, I guess I'd call it a story or a memory or something, and I saw a content opportunity, so I brought you up here right away. We're going to have a night out.
Smart decision.
Yeah, and you're going to kind of regale us with that opportunity. And if it's good, we'll put it in the show, and if it's bad, I'll just send it to you personally.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of pressure.
The bar is high because we had William O'Leary come on and he did fake cocaine recently. So I don't know. Audience is kind of like that. So if you're struggling, fake cocaine is a good way to go.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead. What do you got?
So I, again, as Adam said, I'm Troy. I sent Adam a voice message recently where that started with the words, I was walking my dogs. And it's true. I was walking my dogs, and I was listening to Home Podcast, and I just had this like very vivid memory of Home Improvement and how it touched my life. And he immediately sent back and said, "I didn't listen to it, so this is my chance to share that."
Yeah, I want to get it fresh because if I've heard it before, I can't give an authentic reaction, and authenticity is paramount in this bankrupt world.
I should throw out there that I'm not from Michigan. Because I know that you, this is a very Michigan-specific podcast, but my wife is from Michigan, so I kind of converted. Yeah,
and you're from the Midwest, so you kind of get the overall.
Yeah, I understand the vibe of the Midwest.
Yeah, okay.
And I know some of the landmarks that you guys talk about.
Oh yeah,
on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Sometimes I'll ask my wife though, like, "Hey, who are the Lions?"
Oh man, yeah, and she knows,
Yeah, she'll tell me, "Hey, that's a..."
She's like, "That's a football team."
That's a football team,
okay.
Yeah.
Does she listen to the podcast?
She listened to...
She listened once and then she stopped.
No, she listened to it, and she's not a big fan of the podcast I listen to, so I put it on the car, and she said to me, the face that she made would probably offend you, but she made a face, she said, "This is actually a really good podcast."
Wow, okay, that's high praise, yeah.
Yeah, she was... I think it was... Half of it was because she doesn't like the podcast I listen to, and the other half was because you made it.
Well, that works. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
She kind of treats you like you're my like younger brother sometimes.
It's interesting. I mean, I'll take it. All right. So you were walking your dog.
Okay. Yeah. I'm walking my dog. I have this very vivid memory. So just to set the scene a little bit, I was in third grade, and we had a big Christmas show coming up, and so I'm third grade, Midwest town, they're gonna put on this Christmas show, and I was sick when they cast the roles for it, so I knew like nothing about it, and then suddenly like a week before the show, the teacher was like, "Oh hey, by the way, we gave you like one of the leads."
Why?
And I don't think it was actually one of the leads. I think she was just
trying to make you feel good. Like, you've been gone, so we gave you a meaty role.
We gave you a really good role. Yeah. All the kids. I remember she was like, "The kids, we all agreed together. We want you to have this role." Yeah. And so I was really excited about the role because it was it's basically a home improvement spoof.
Okay.
Of a Christmas. It was a Christmas pageant. And they try to make it like modernize it by making it like about home improvement. Yeah. Okay. So it was like unauthorized home improvement Christmas.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
So, and this is all just for what I remember. Yeah. But I played the Al Borland character.
Wow, that's a big role. That is a lead.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we were like gonna fix a gingerbread house, and that was the role. Yeah. And so,
do you want to know something really crazy?
What?
My school did the exact same play.
Are you serious?
School. It must have been. I'm not kidding.
Who are you?
Like an audience member or something. Yeah. But this must have been like a script that was floating around because I'm not kidding. I just remember this. That it was they were fixing a gingerbread house and they constructed like a show. I remember my line. It was like. I don't know. Actually, I guess I don't remember, but it was like
home improvement.
Yeah, it was like
Christmas.
This is like one of those shows where they fix things up. That was my line or something. Yeah. But this must have been.
And like my role was like to really like kind of put down the other guy. Yeah, I was like very clearly Al Borland, and they made me wear flannel. And, yeah.
Were there reindeer in yours?
Yes.
Okay, and same. Yeah. I mean that's a deal.
Wow. I wonder if like maybe your teacher. My teacher like was fired and like, went over and did it.
I didn't remember that until right now. I don't think I ever brought this up.
I totally have like had no recollection of it. All of a sudden listening to the podcast and I was like, wait a second.
It's like, that's bizarre. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a bigger question in general. Do you think that when they do these elementary school, junior high plays that there's just like a circuit of stuff that goes around. They're all doing the same stuff.
Oh yeah, I think that like I feel like it's like the music teachers or like the
Mhm.
the whoever's doing the plays. They just have like a company that sends out.
Okay. There's like a music teacher Reddit thread where it's like
I think they have whatever plays are like open and cheap.
Yeah.
And then they pick from that.
What year was this? Like, because I'm thinking like mine was like 98, probably
Yeah, this would have
99.
been like 98, 99.
Yeah, crazy.
That is wild.
So you were Al. I mean, I didn't have as big of a role, so I don't have as much to say. You were Al Borland. You wore flannel. Did they give you any stomach padding?
Oh no, that would have been good.
No body shaming.
No, they didn't give me any stuff.
Okay. They should have though. That would have been a very '90s thing to do. Would be to really puff you up and kind of be like, "Oh, he's a little heavier."
Well, I feel like Santa was probably in there.
There it is.
I don't remember entirely,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure Santa was in it.
Yeah. Okay.
'Cause I think we made the gingerbread house for Santa,
Checks out. Yeah.
and I remember, unless I'm connecting this with another play, there was a kid named Chris who was playing Santa.
Okay, and like his real name was Chris.
And he was yeah.
Do you think that's why he got the role? 'Cause his
Yeah.
name was Chris?
Oh, probably.
Okay, that seems...
I thought it was. I assumed it was because like he was sick.
he was heavy. No, you thought it was because he was a little heavier, and they just kind of.
No, actually, he was very small, and I think they picked him so that they could do the padding. Because
then it's like, oh, well, he's so little. It's funny because he's so small.
Yeah, exactly.
Very conscious. Okay. Did you get like an "I don't think so" Tim line in there? Do you remember any of your lines?
That was. I mean, essentially that's what I had, but I was like, again, it was unauthorized, so I know it wasn't like I don't think so, Tim, but it was like I remember having to like.
Yeah.
Make a face at him and really like, roll my eyes.
This
But
guy.
here's the reason I sent you the message was because it was like a flashbulb moment for me because I realized I thought that I like really acted it up. I thought I like killed it.
Yeah.
The role. And then I remember my mom had a video of it, or my friend's mom had a video of it. And we watched it, and I was like completely deadpan.
Very meek and serious.
And it was like a flashbulb moment for me where I was like, oh, my facial expressions aren't always how I'm feeling.
You know, that's a good lesson to learn at a young age because I still struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
As you can tell right now, I look as though I'm happy, but I'm actually miserable. So,
Right.
No.
Right, exactly.
Wow. I just can't believe they did the same Christmas play at two
That's
different
really wild.
schools.
we should look up the script.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Blacklist.
Yeah.
Did your school? Okay, do you remember any other of your school's Christmas plays?
No, that's the
Okay,
only one.
I remember another one, and I have brought this up on the show before, where it was like an Elvis parody with Elvis. And here's the thing about me back then, probably same now. I always tried out for the lead role,
Ooh.
and I never got it.
Oh,
I didn't get Elvis. Yeah, disappointing.
It is.
But yeah, it would have been crazy if your school also did that.
Yeah, we might have done Elvis.
Well, you'd remember.
We probably did, but I probably just wasn't in that one.
Okay.
I do have another. The other one I really remember is where we did like I remember it always being like celebrating all the cultures. You know, that was like a big theme for.
That was not a big theme at my school.
Really.
I don't remember that now.
Yeah, I always remember it being like we're doing the Christmas play, but like.
Well, you did grow up in Berkeley, right?
Oh yeah. I guess I don't have that Midwest vibe that I thought I had.
Man, busted. Okay, well that's really interesting. Any other home improvement stuff you want to talk about while we're here?
No, but so I'm not. Again, I don't think this is very good content. But I do think this play there's something here. I think you should take a look at the script.
Okay.
And maybe even do an episode just on that play.
Yeah.
You know, maybe so that you have another episode that you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be done in about a year or so, and then maybe after that we'll do like monthly episodes on adjacent kind of things.
So wait, when you're going to be done, you're going to think it's going to keep going?
Hey, I don't think this podcast is ever going to die.
Wow.
No, it will.
I like listening to it.
Thank you.
I just always assumed you guys would spin off and do something else.
I don't think there's any, like, I think there's like 6 other home improvement podcasts.
Are there really?
Hey, man, yeah.
I thought that was a joke when you guys say that.
No, there really are a lot of other home improvement, like the show. There's also a lot of like Fixer Upper podcasts as well.
I was about to say Adam. I think that.
Yeah, no, I swear. Like, so I think the market is very saturated. I don't have any other good ideas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you've got like a year.
Got about a year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Jordan could have another kid at any point, and then he's just gonna say,
I was
"See you
thinking
later."
we could do dad podcasts.
But just about dads,
Yeah, dad.
like dad humor.
Yeah, dad.
I don't really like that much, though.
No.
I kind of think it's overdone.
Yeah, that's true.
I really convinced you. I convinced
As a
you
dad,
quickly.
I would say it's
you
not.
are a dad. I forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Wow,
that.
you're
Yeah.
the godfather of my child.
That's not true. That's not true. All right. Well, in closing, thanks for sharing
if
that.
I could just try, if I could try to, I know this isn't going to end up on the podcast. So
This right here?
Yeah, I know this isn't going to end up. So
This is gonna go on.
So I'm going to try to like make it more interesting.
Okay. All right. I'll give you about 5 more minutes.
Okay. So, hey, Adam.
Yeah.
How's the weather up there?
Oh no. Tall humor. Oh man. Yeah, your brother's an improv, but you aren't.
No,
and
I'm not
that's
very
evident
good.
right there.
Do you remember any of the other any other childhood plays?
Trying to lengthen this out, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk about that necessarily, but I would like to ask you some questions about what are 2 things you like, and this is all I'm going to give you. This is it, okay?
Okay.
2 things you like about Home Improvement,
really good.
and 2 things you dislike about Home Improvement.
Okay. And I send you a lot of messages about Home Improvement, so I've got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. So filter it down to 2 likes
Just
and
2.
2 dislikes.
Okay.
Or you can do 4 likes, but you can't do 4
Just
dislikes.
4 points
Yeah.
total. Okay.
Yeah, just 4 points.
4 points total. Okay.
Okay, go.
One thing I really enjoy about Home Improvement. The first thing is there's an episode which I don't know if you guys covered yet, where Tim is riding with the boys, and he says to the boys something about the food that they had that Jill made for
It happens a lot.
and the boys say, "Oh man, it was so bad."
Yeah.
And she said, Tim says, "Oh hey, that was really good oatmeal."
Yeah.
And they say, "Dad, that was scrambled eggs."
Okay, so you like that.
I like that line.
They do that joke a lot, so you're in luck. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay,
Which,
that's
as
one.
like an improv person, you know that there's always something like always
It's always good to have in your back pocket.
Just like correct.
Those aren't
and tell them they
buoys.
were wrong. Yeah.
Okay. What else?
People love that.
Mhm.
So that's what I love. I also really like the. I do like the emphasis on the dad role. I like that they show the dad like struggling with things emotionally.
Yeah,
I think that was like
that's
at
fair.
the time that was really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good earnest answer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You can go to 2 dislikes, or you can keep liking things.
I'll go into things I dislike.
Okay.
I dislike how they developed Wilson.
Okay. How so?
I feel like that they had him have all these like crazy different hobbies.
Yeah.
And for me, it was always like. So
Pick your lane, Wilson. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Well, like he's supposed to be like an intellectual.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have all this advice.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have like a clear path.
But
He's
he's an expert in everything. That's why he's so good at giving advice. He knows so much.
I guess, but it's always like, oh hey, there's a random ceremony in some random culture.
Right.
Here's a quote.
Yeah.
A random.
You don't
quote.
like that?
I feel like it would have been better if they would have had him have like a clear stance.
And what would that stance be?
Well, I just feel like they should have had like somebody who studied philosophy writing for him, rather than somebody who just like knew a couple of.
I mean, they have like new writers every episode, so
That's
the Wilson
true.
voice is pretty all over the place. But
yeah, I could picture it being more like The Good Place. You know,
I don't like The Good Place.
you know, like The Good Place.
No.
I feel like they should. Well, like I feel like they could have had writers like The Good Place, kind of be like the Wilson character.
I mean, yeah, Home Improvement is like the prototype for The Good Place.
kind of a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Wilson,
Wilson. That's something I think about a lot.
You know, be more niche. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
One more point.
One more point. I think that I'm not a huge fan of the gendered aspects of it.
Fair
which I
point.
think you guys talk
Yeah.
about a lot,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like every time you talk about home improvement, you got to talk about how, for the time, it was like it showed men in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty cringy.
it definitely can be. I think a big takeaway for me has been throughout this podcast run is it's not nearly as bad as I expected.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I think probably it's just the imagery of it. It gets you in that mindset. Like you have the imagery, you have the grunting, you
For
have
sure,
them saying,
yeah.
"Oh, this is a man show."
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I mean, some of it is inescapable, I guess, and I think that is sort of something that haunts Home Improvement. I would say big kind of things that you could say in response to that is that the show kind of always posits that Tim is the dumb one and that he's wrong and that he's sort of like the one that needs to learn, and also like. Apart from like the Cosby Show, which don't talk about the Cosby Show.
Do you think that Jill is like? So you watch Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
So like how Breaking Bad has
Skyler,
mm-hmm. and people like really dislike Skyler. Do you think the same thing happened to Jill? I
think in the moment, or no, I don't get that feeling. I think that Skyler. I mean, this is a real different can of worms. I felt like Skyler was kind of written to be unlikable.
I mean, you don't think Jill is?
No.
Okay.
I really don't. I think the problem with Home Improvement or the problem with shows that have 25 episodes a season is that like every like 3 episodes a character will do something where you're like, Jill wouldn't do that, or like this is weird. Like there's one episode early on where like Jill, maybe like season 1 or 2, where like Jill and Tim have a fight over like something very small, and Jill like takes the kids and goes to a hotel.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like really weird. And then but like every other episode she doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like Jill is written to be unlikable. And I think for the time they give her, like, she's got a lot going on. Like, she's always working. She's getting her PhD. She's working.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She's not. I mean, I don't know if the bad cook jokes are like. I don't even know, like, if that's offensive or not. Like, is that subverting
I don't know
something?
either because,
is that, like, clever?
So, like, it's interesting because, they have... One thing I've thought about a lot in Home Improvement...
Fantastic. You're the right man to be on here, then.
About Home Improvement is they've got the garage and they've got the kitchen and they're adjacent.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so kind of Jill and Tim are walking back in between the worlds.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But they're still kind of stuck in those places.
For sure. Yeah.
So they both have their jobs outside of that, but then they still have those like male and female spaces.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I mean, just because you show that doesn't mean you're like enforcing that.
No.
But I don't know.
I mean, some of this stuff Tim says is like pretty brutal, where he's like, hey, women be shopping, that kind of stuff. Exactly. So like I would never argue that, but I think a lot of the Home Improvement gets, like, when people think about Home Improvement now in like 2019 landscape, I think a lot of that is attached to people just kind of not liking Tim Allen a ton.
Oh yeah, well, that's probably true. It's
a Tim Allen problem at this point, or at least like for people that are critics and people that are on Twitter, people that are like 50% of like the U.S. like loves Tim Allen and Best Man Standing and Toy Story and all that stuff, and then like you have people on Twitter that like really don't like him for reasons that are mostly pretty valid, I would say. So I think a lot of that is sort of tied into why Home Improvement hasn't aged well. But some of the gender stuff is pretty tough.
I remember watching it, and I do remember it being a show about gender, which like bringing that up I think is really cool. And I think like Wilson in particular does a lot of things that are like traditionally. He's not like the super masculine guy, but he's like the dad figure. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
And I think if you look at Home Improvement, even like based off of like show, like compare like Home Improvement to something like According to Jim, which came on
According to Jim was my show.
That came on like 10. That's like 10 years later, and According to Jim is much way worse, regressive, so much worse in like every possible way. So I don't know. It's not
true. I think you guys should do a side by side. Or just do one episode of According to Jim. Just give it a shot.
According to Jim Cat,
Like as a,
well, you were the one that showed me Jim Belushi's possible house in Sycamore, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah.
You showed me that, or did I show you that?
We had
Someone else showed me that?
We had a friend who told you about it.
Okay.
Who then I confronted because I didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And he gave me the address.
Yeah.
And we drove by it.
Yeah.
We got out in the snow.
Yeah.
And we looked at it until a man in a golf cart.
Yeah.
Drove by.
Do you think that was Jim Belushi's house? And this is how we'll end it. This is kind of the most important question.
I would love, speaking of other podcast ideas that you're out, I would love if you would do a, serial style tracking down Jim Belushi. Yeah. So there we were standing outside of a house.
And it's
Was it Jim Belushi's house?
calling.
Was it not?
It's calling someone on like payphones. It's like someone from prison or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you didn't really answer. Do you think it's the house or not?
I don't. I really
Dang
don't think it's
it!
his house.
I do. So, all right. And on that note,
Well, I know.
not signing off. What else you got?
Sorry.
It's okay.
I told you that this wasn't going to be good content.
It's gonna be good. We're gonna use it.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say? You got something else?
You're absolutely not going to use this, right?
No, we're gonna put it in. It'll mean we can make the episode really short, and I can just throw this at the end, and we'll hit 50 minutes, and it'll be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this is 22 minutes.
Oh wow. See, we could do this every week about Jim Belushi. That'd be great. Okay, well, signing off. Here's my catchphrase. Keep on. Keep it on.
Wow, that's yours. That was a good one. All right, thanks for.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It was a
thanks
pleasure.
for coming on. Thanks for joining me. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to meet a fan.